Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, then definitely come check us out. We definitely love to have you. That group was put together specifically for our coaches, consultants, and service providers who are serious about getting up to that 6 and that 7-figure levels. So if that's you, come check us out. So with that being said, I want to introduce you to one of the members of the community, Patrick Powers. Welcome, Patrick.
Great to be here, Extus.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. So tell us, Patrick, what is it that you do?
So basically, I'm an expert on influence. So I teach people how to write copy that is influential, persuades people to do whatever it is you want them to do, to act, buy, or comply. Teach influence in person as well, like how to network and how to deliver a pitch in a compelling way as well. And I've built something called Entrepreneurs in London, which has grown to be the second biggest business meetup group in the world. We're now over 27,000 members, and we're actually scaling that outside of London now under the name of Founder Nation. So we might be in the US soon, actually.
Oh, nice, nice. And you said how many members are in there?
Say again, sorry?
You said how many members are in there?
So right now we're at 27,500.
Nice, nice. Awesome, awesome. You said in terms of what you do, the core of what you do is influence, right?
Correct. Influence, copywriting, sales funnels, everything that has to do with how to put words together to get people to do cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So what got you interested in this line of work?
Well, I was really, really tired of being in a normal job when I was a kid. I was very young. So by the age of 21, I decided to start a business, and it was a tremendous failure, right? I was literally within 1 year went bankrupt, and it was a horrible, horrible experience. Couple of reasons why that happened. First of all, I was exceptionally shy. I was literally afraid of people. And most importantly, though, I didn't know anything about communication, sales, and marketing. I thought it all had to do with just having a great idea. And I think I had a pretty good idea, but found out it was just not enough. So after that, I started to study what went wrong, started thinking about it, started reading a lot, and found out that, well, business has mostly to do with marketing. If you master marketing or sales, communication skills, that is literally the foundation in any business. So I started to study that like crazy, and soon found myself to be almost like obsessed with it. I was really fascinated by it. So I thought, you know what, I'm just so interested in this field. Why not turn it into a business? And that's in fact what I did.
Love it, love it. So in terms of the individuals you help, are they corporations, individuals, entrepreneurs? Who are they typically?
Typically small to mid-sized businesses.
Awesome, awesome. And in terms of what about the services that you offer? Is it kind of like a done for you service where you actually do the work, whether it's copy, building funnels, all these different things, or is it more like you show them how to do it?
It's a little bit depending on the situation. I would say both. Actually, I prefer to be involved in teaching them as well, coaching them in the situation, because for me it's actually quite boring to do consulting, and I'm getting more and more away from it, because when I consult, I just sit here and do it by myself. I love having that impact on somebody. I love when the light bulb goes on in somebody's eyes and you can just see like, wow, that was a great tip. And then they can go and do it by themselves. Now, lots of people will say, well, it doesn't make any sense business-wise, right? Because it would be better to just do it for them, because you can keep on doing it for them all the time. So in some ways, maybe not really smart for me to have that attitude towards it, but I'm just bored about consulting. And I thrive on teaching stuff that people can go out and use.
Yeah.
So I'm moving more and more away from consulting and more into the coaching.
Yeah. Coaching is fascinating as well too. I know for our business, we've grown, and we've grown to about $450,000 per month in our business. But it's one of those places where it's kind of like an addictive feeling, right? To just be able to coach someone and see them, help them make that transformation, right? I believe that that's where we should all strive to be. So I can help someone else figure out what you've already figured out over your lifetime, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
Everybody has something to share in life. And I think if everybody in the world cared more about actually sharing their knowledge and helping other people, in other words, just actually taking on a coaching role, even though you're not getting paid for it, I think we would be a lot better off in the world.
Yeah, love it, love it. So what's the vision when you, with your group, of your community you started, as you said, it's about 27,000 members. What was your vision for Sauna community?
My vision initially,
Hmm.
to survive. It was pure survival. I had basically started quite successful business that I more or less retired from. I started to travel the world, lived in the Caribbean, a couple of different places, traveled the US. As mentioned before we started the interview, I've been to 36 US states and territories. And I sold that, and I was basically overconfident because I thought, I know this stuff now. I'm really, really good at business. I've been successful. I can easily build a business again. And I didn't have a proper plan B. And what happened was I sold it with a little bit of money up front, and then I was going to get 20% of what was being made for 5 years. So I'd have plenty of time to build up some new assets and get some other business going. The problem was that the people that took it over, that they ran it into the ground really quickly. So suddenly there was almost, so it's just 20% of almost nothing.
Hmm.
So came back to the UK and restarted my life, started Entrepreneurs in London. And it was literally just because I wanted to survive, because I didn't have any money to market myself. So I thought it was the only way that I could really go out and find customers was through networking. So
Hmm.
I became pretty tired of doing my own, going to networking events and keeping in touch with people. Because networking is not just about meeting people once and then you sell, right? It takes time and multiple exposures before you have that trust, before people buy from you. So I decided to start my own network, and that was basically the initial vision, just simply survival. In the last 4 or 5 years, I would say it's taken on a completely different role. It's become something that I never actually thought it would be and envisioned. Now we're gaining a number one business meetup in the world. So I think within the next 12 months, we should be the number one. And that I'm really excited because I'm going to use that to really scale worldwide. I think entrepreneurs need three things. They need a tribe, they need a community, right? Tribe or community, whatever you want to call it. They need knowledge, and they need inspiration. Now, the tribe is so important, and I would have loved to have that tribe when I started out, like a real tribe of people actually sharing stuff, working together. And you can get that in masterminds, but masterminds are typically very, very expensive to buy into. I would love to build a worldwide tribe of entrepreneurs that really work together, where we can help them, expose them to experts, get access to uh, reasonably affordable training, and tips and free webinars and all kinds of stuff in any price range that fits any business, wherever the level they're at.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the powerful vision. I love that. I love that. I'm about the same place with my company as well too. Because when I first started my company, was the same thing as well too, right? So I started back in 2013 after I left the U.S. Marines, and I like to say my first 2 years in business, all I got good at was amassing debt. That's all I did.
Yeah.
I basically went broke trying to figure it out. But
Well,
today, yeah, the place where we're at today, it's more based on I have that same vision for the coaches, consultants I work with. It's
mhm.
ultimately my vision, because I believe then that's just what we do. We help coaches and consultants create financial abundance and stuff like that through showing them how to market themselves online, package their programs. But I
Mhm.
believe that what I found, at least from my perspective, and my vision for my clients is to help them make a ridiculous amounts of money so they could come from a place of now they could serve, right? Because I believe so many of them are stuck in that
Mhm.
just making barely enough just to survive,
Yep.
right? And just like I have a client right now, he just hit like $30,000 per month helping people like overcome anxiety, like solving that small problem, and he's at 30,000 per month. And for me, it's like now he could now come from a place of let me show up and serve, right? Because I know when he first joined our program and stuff, he was really come from a place of just I just need to get one client, or I just need to just be able to pay my bills. But
Mhm.
now the conversations, the evolution I've seen with him and what he's doing, it's just like he's changing the world in his own way, but he's not in it for the money anymore. The money's figured out. And that's really what I want to do, be able to take coaches, consultants, and help them, just give them all the tools, resources they would need to solve that problem, so they could come from a place of, let me just serve now because I'm not doing it for the money anymore. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I love your
Yeah,
vision as
that's
well
wonderful.
too.
If we create a world with more people that works not for money, but for passion, for excitement, to make a better world,
Mhm.
that's the vision I'm seeing.
Yeah, love it, love it. So why Meetup? Why because is that your platform as far as social media when you got online? Meetup was what you saw? The
Yeah, so basically, at that point, I came back to the UK. I had 2,500 pounds to restart my life. That's include my personal expenses, getting a room, paying deposit, and everything. Literally, that's everything that I had. So obviously, I had to be very thrifty, and I was looking around for a platform. Like when I decided I want to start a network, I was looking around for a platform where I could see that I had a good chance to win. And when I saw Meetup, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I'm a good copywriter, right? So I was like, these guys, like practically none of these meetups knew anything about copy. Like
Mhm.
like the titles of the events was uncompelling and boring and confusing, and there was practically no copy. And I was just like, this is the place for me because I can outcompete these, right? I could easily outcompete them. So and that's what we did. In fact, I mean, it took me in the beginning, of course, I made lots of mistakes, and I wasn't charging for the events in the beginning, just to kind of build the momentum. And then relatively soon we started to make it optional, saying like, don't donate a few pounds. And then after approximately 9 months, we started charging on a regular basis.
Mhm.
And then after 3 years, started taking really started taking off.
Mhm. Love it, love it. Yeah, I know my because I looked at, I know when I was just first getting started as well too. On back in 2013, figuring out what platform do I use, which one. I know for me was LinkedIn. Like I've got on LinkedIn, and the same thing, build the audience, build a tribe. I think right now our Facebook group has grown to about, oh sorry, LinkedIn group has grown to about 35,000 members or something.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
nice.
So yeah,
Well,
which
well
is
done.
pretty cool. But yeah, it's so important to have that community. Um, but I know with us, we just meet online though. But with you, with the meetup, so it was an actual in-person meetup.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
that's my style. I love that. And then our vision now is to scale an online platform around the world, but we will never go away from doing the live meetups as well. We want to find partners around the world that can actually do the live meetups
Mm-hmm.
following our model. Um, I so believe in real belly to belly, eye to eye connection. That's where the magic takes place. Online is a great place to either develop the leads and to maintain the relationship. But the real magic, like if you want to make a real purchase or buy-in or partnership, you at least have to do a Zoom call, right? I mean, if you
Mm-hmm.
can't meet in the real world, at least Zoom call where you can see the other person. But if you can touch people as well, you can hug them, you can have fun together, you can have a drink together, you can food together. That's where the real magic takes place.
Yeah, yeah, that is so powerful because at the end of the day, people just like doing business with people they like, right? And the best way to know whether you like someone is to be in a room with them,
Yeah.
whether it's saying at the end of the event, go to a bar, do something, but spending some time with the person to actually get to know them besides just the business side of things, right?
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's what we're all about at our events is trying to get people actually kind of away from talking business in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And we've developed a very, very unique process that we implemented about a year ago. And then since then, with every single event, somebody comes up and said that was the best event I've ever been to. And
Mm-hmm.
it's because we focus on the process of getting them to kind of drop their mask and be more personal, be more vulnerable with each other instead of saying, hey, I'm a web designer. Hey, I'm a marketing guy. We get them to say something about themselves personally and to
Mm-hmm.
greet themselves in a way that they would greet their best friends. So those are some of the things that we do. But overall, we just try to get them to talk more about personal stuff, what's really important to them personally.
Yeah, yeah.
And that process is just it's just been quite mind blowing. We're getting super fans now and people coming back and bringing their friends and so on.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And that's the same thing with my coaching program as well. So that's really how I've kind of designed it, right? Because at first, someone I used to offer our group programs, all these different things, it was more based on just strictly business. And I'm like, it gets to a point where it's like, and I realize as well with clients as well too, it kind of like just feel like a transaction, right? So, hey, I pay you money now, you're going to help me and da da da, whatever. And it's just like a transaction versus today, we've more designed our programs where all the clients, everyone, they're mingling, they're interacting, they're getting to know each other, they know each other's families, the kids,
Mm.
their challenges, their personal issues, all these different things. And it's kind of like we became like this big family to where we know each person. And it's not really, the business is a byproduct, but we more come together just based on, it's just a really cool environment that everyone just loves being a part of, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's wonderful.
Hmm. Love it. So with you, what do you see as the next step in your on your journey? What's that vision that you hold right now?
Yeah, so it's developing the Founder Nation platform, which will include a lot of training, online training as well, uh, downloadable live online training, and of course we're going to continue to live in the real world as soon as we get back to the real world. But the plan is to really just massively scale it worldwide
Hmm.
with this training platform and the community online, and where we get the most members, the most traction, we will then open meetup groups around the world.
Yeah, love it. So how did COVID-19 affect, well, first of all, how often did the meetup events, did you meet?
So we had events 2 to 3 times a month,
Hmm.
and then obviously we had to stop doing them, but we've continued to do them quite strongly via webinars, and we've created quite a lot of fans via the webinars now that never got around to getting to the real events. And now because they've seen me, they've met me, they've seen I bring some really cool people on our webinars. They're like wow, I'm definitely going to be there. Once we go live again. So it's
Hmm.
actually been in some ways it's actually been quite good. And we're maintaining a very strong engagement in our Facebook group as well.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. And what's the name of your Facebook group?
So it's Founder Nation.
Founder Nation.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Definitely have to check that out. Okay, cool, cool. And what's next on your agenda? What are you seeing in terms of well, I guess even before we get into that there, skills wise, what's one skill you'd say you've mastered that's helped you create your level of success today?
Well, definitely connecting with people, and I would say copywriting as well. Those are my two strong.
Hmm. And which with connecting with people, what's your view? Are you introverted or extroverted? What's your
I'm introverted by nature, actually,
uh-huh. Okay.
which nobody believes because they see me. People make they have this misconception about that an introvert is shy.
Hmm.
Well, introverts are often shy, but it's not really connected, right? The reason why introverts are shy is because they like to keep more by themselves. That are never, or a lot of times they don't learn the social skills. I
Hmm.
used to be super shy, right? But then I broke out of that, and then I love people, and I'm absolutely incredibly good at connecting with people now. But I'm still introverted, and that just basically means if I'm around a lot of people for a while, I want to go back to my own self and just be with myself and maybe a close friend to recharge my batteries. Right?
Hmm.
If I'm around too many people too long, it just fries my circuits.
Hmm.
Right? But
Yeah.
I'm not shy anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm the same way. I'm pretty introverted as well too. And I think about my vision because I definitely realize people. That's the key to everything, right? I think the same thing with me as well. So when I was growing up, pretty shy kid, barely ever talked to anyone. But when I kind of started breaking out and seeing, okay, what really creates success, and I realized that it's really about relationships. So I
Yeah.
think for me, it's more based on, and that's really my vision. This morning, I was working with one of my coaches, and we're really focused on the vision. And I realized the vision that I hold today is just I just want to be around some really cool, not everyone, not a lot of people, but a few really good people who are extremely good at what they do, and be able to get together and just solve problems, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's the type of team, that's the type of environment I want to be around, and that takes, again, not me going out and talk to a million different people, but being able to find those individuals who can have that influence, all these different things, to see what great things we could do there together, right?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, love
Totally.
it, love
That's what
it.
it's all about.
Yeah. So with your online events and stuff like that, as far as for the meetups, how often are you doing them?
It's been a little bit unstructured because what really wonderful thing that happened is when COVID hit, there was just a weird shift inside of me,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly it became super creative again. I used to be very creative and writing lots of books and lots of articles and stuff like that. And I wanted to write a report as a free giveaway about 9,000 words. That was my initial vision of it, right? And then suddenly it was 12,000. Suddenly it was 16,000. I was like, I think this is going to turn into a book. And suddenly it was like my focus completely changed around it. And now it's close to 40,000 words, and it's not quite done yet. So I've just dedicated myself a lot of time to this book, and actually another book came up, so I'm half done with that as well. So during this time, I've just been a little bit drawn myself away from the world to focus on doing these things. So the online meetings have been like when I kind of felt like it, and if there was a cool expert that popped up, I said we can bring this expert on. From now on, because I'm actually almost ready with the first book, I'm gonna do at least one a week from now on. We do what's
Awesome.
called virtual lunches. So it's basically a networking event, where we're only a few people on at a time. I would say 10 to 12 people. So we get proper time to actually connect and learn from each other,
Yeah.
and get to know each other. And then every other week we will have some kind of an expert on a webinar. It could be myself as well. And then at least a couple of times a week, I do this short Facebook Live.
hmm Yeah, powerful stuff. Yeah, I never really understood the power of networking until recently, because a couple of years ago when I hit this plateau, right? Because for me, in my business, it was a lot of just me being the head, doing all the different things, figuring out every single thing, right? And it got to a point where I just hit this plateau and I couldn't figure out like what is the next level I've mastered, like at least the technical side of businesses, the funnels, the copywriting, all of these different things. Like, what's the next shift? And that's when I met a friend of mine, Shelly, actually, her name's Shelly, and she's a networker. That was a model. And I was like, what is this networking thing? And I kind of
Hmm.
saw what she was doing, how the progress she was making. It wasn't based on she was working any harder, but it's more based on the network. Her network kept growing, and she had access to different types of people who had different skill sets and all these different things. So I was like, whoa, that's a really cool skill. And that's when I
Hmm.
really realized the power of, again, growing that network, building relationships, and really like putting yourself in situations where you just naturally are always meeting new people, because 9 times out of 10, it's a problem that we want to solve, the ones that we're struggling with. If we could just share with one person, that person could, the struggle we're going through with it, that person could just say, hey, have you thought about this? Or, oh, I could do this. And all of a sudden
Yeah.
that problem just fades away, right? Without us ever
It's
having to solve it
just
themselves.
amazing. I mean, it's just so amazing to really have that strong network where you can reach out. Like literally today, I no, sorry, yesterday, talked to a guy, which I met over Facebook, by the way, and we're building a very strong relationship now. And I have a situation where um, I've been approached some investors that actually want to invest in our platform, and we're talking quite big numbers. And this is the first time this ever happened for me. And I was like, I'm completely out of my depth about how to prepare the pitch deck, and like what do how do we do this thing? I've always built businesses by myself, bootstrapped them. So I thought, who knows this stuff? Oh, this guy Christopher, he can help me with that, with this. Right. And just reached out to him and he said, yeah, sure, I'll be there for you. I'll do some research for you and I'll find these numbers and whatever. It's just amazing.
Yeah, yeah. The problems just solve themselves when you network.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Love it, love it. So if someone wanted to reach out, what's the best way for them to be able to connect?
So my two favorite platforms for social media is Facebook and LinkedIn. Probably not probably, but mostly Facebook actually.
Mm-hmm,
So it's just search for Patrick M Powers, M like in mother, both on Facebook and LinkedIn. Uh,
mm-hmm,
you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, but I'm almost never there.
mm-hmm,
Also, my site, of course, patrickmpowers.com, where you can get a free sample of my new book, The New Marketing Manifesto.
mm-hmm. Love it, love it. And who would you say is an ideal client, that ideal person that benefits most from your services and what you do?
Somebody who is probably either in business to business of some kind, or it could be in health and wellness, anti-aging, or sports, leisure, especially outdoors living. and somebody, especially somebody with a sales funnel, they already have a sales funnel going on, because if I have to build it from scratch, it will cost them too much. And again, if they don't have something, they probably don't have the money for me right now. So somebody with an existing sales funnel, because typically I can increase conversion by 30-50% very, very quickly with an existing sales funnel.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Love it, Patrick. Hey, man. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today to share this wisdom. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. Do you
That
have
was
any
awesome.
final
Thanks.
thoughts? Yeah. Do you have any final thoughts before we end?
Just to anybody listening out there, whatever level you were at, you can do so much better. Like, you have no idea the power that you have in your potential, but you got to surround yourself, as Extus says, surround yourself with people that can help you, not just with the things that you are looking for yourself, but it's also the things that are your blind spots. That's one of the best things about being in a network, is that people can tell you things that you didn't even know, you weren't even aware of was possible. Like this investor guy I met the other day, and it's like, dude, we can raise a couple of million for your business. And I'm like what? Like what? And he said, we can build this business into 100 to 200 million worth in the next 3 to 5 years. And I'm like, holy moly. Right. So that would have never happened unless I had this network. So believe in yourself, think bigger, go for something way, way bigger than you think you actually can get, and then surround yourself with people that can help you get there.
Awesome. Love it, Patrick. Well, hey, thanks again for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And we'll be in touch. Okay.
Awesome. Take care, man.